Gentlemen, do you know who a plantpreneur is? We've been doing womanpreneur. Today I have a plantpreneur joining me for the segment.
Somebody who plants and sells plants.
Okay, I'm not too far off. Sixtus, good morning to you. Crosby, good morning to you again.
Good morning.
What do you think a plantpreneur is?
It's like the same as porkpreneur.
Oh my goodness. Your love for pork, we have to study it too. Your love for pork, we have to study it. You know, as part of our growth series last week, we engaged Dr. Adepa, and he was telling us how we can stay healthy, fortify our health for the year 2024. He himself said everything in moderation. I know Dr. Adepa likes a little pork here, and I won't say too much, but he didn't completely rule it out. So for those of you who tuned off, as soon as we say we're going to talk about health and I talk about, red meat, some of you tune off. You say, Helen, have a nice day. Good morning to you. We'll see you tomorrow. No, he didn't say completely cut it out of the diet. But red meat, I believe, should be reduced. Gentlemen, let me tell you something interesting. Some of the meats that you consumed around Christmas time, it's still in your stomach. Do you know that? It still isn't fully digested. Crosby said, yes. Just do some research on how long it takes the body to digest red meat. Some of that meat, like I mentioned, is still in your stomach, rotting away. So I agree with Dr. Adepa. Shout out to you if you're tuned in this morning. I'm continuing on the path of educating my colleagues.
Crosby is imagining things.
Crosby is in your stomach.
Oh, I don't say they should live there, but they should live there.
They should live there. Hey, boys. In any case, it's great to see both of you this morning. Hope you had a restful night's sleep.
Mine was short, though.
That means you didn't go to bed early, Crosby.
Did I not? Well, I didn't, though, and I had to wake up early.
Well, maybe something to correct in 2024. Sleep is important.
It is, but
very important.
There are some other things too that are also equally important.
Okay, but we digress. Let's start off with our news review. I won't ask you what said other things are, but Sixtus, I know, had a great night's sleep.
I had a deep, long, uninterrupted sleep from late afternoon into early evening. Woke up again, but the rest of the night was eyes open, eyes clear until like 3 a.m.-ish.
And at that point, are you able to go back to sleep for maybe another hour?
I think I had a nap for an hour or so or less than. And then by 4:30, I was up.
As you typically are.
You know, the dawn sleep is the most dangerous sleep.
My goodness.
If you don't take care,
My goodness.
Like 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is the difficulty with sometimes going to bed a bit too early. So you go and you eat some, like I had one heavy bowl of fufu yesterday. Shout out to you, Auntie Coco, for that. One heavy bowl of fufu and a punch
cracker. You should know that there are 3 people on the panel.
Auntie Coco would love to have you guys taste the food. My auntie loves it when people taste and enjoy her food. So she hasn't sanctioned this one. Auntie Coco, yeah, she made one serious. Give me one hefty bowl of fufu. She knows that I need my calories and strength. It's all for nation building.
Thank you.
But then you fall asleep too early.
Chief Napconian.
Napconians, good morning to you. Have you received your 9 months allowance? It's been a while since we heard from you. The last communique I saw coming from one of the groups, they said this is a shame. Please, we need our money. They were very emphatic that they would be. In fact, they went to the OSP. There's
this brother of mine who keeps calling me. He's one of the NAPCO people.
Oh.
He said about recruitment. He's seen people called to do things, and he's always there. I said, my brother.
He hasn't been called?
No, he hasn't been called. I said, my brother, we will find whichever hole they enter, we must enter the same hole.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Really,
yeah.
It's not great. 9 months arrears. Hopefully something turns around. But let's get into the papers that we have in front of us. As always, let's check out the front pages, and then we'll get into some of the details. The Daybreak newspaper says, Bawumia deepens NDC cracks, Bande claims. And that's Mustafa Bande, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, also pictured here on the front page. AFCON, Ghanaian supporters want to return. They no longer want to stay and support the Black Stars.
No, stay there. Return. This is not fair.
It's only one game, guys. Why is your vim so low?
Why give up? Why give up so early on the team?
Why do they want to return?
Well, we'll get into that, but I suspect it's because
whatever their reason is,
they should stay there.
Maybe their money are finished.
Oh, how?
If they don't have money,
some of them are under sponsorship.
Oh, how?
But if you went to support the Black Stars, you went there because of the Black Stars.
Yes.
Wait, let the Black Stars come when you come with them. But you can't
I think by Thursday,
some people also strategize. The opening match is always an important game for a lot of people. They want to see how the team would perform. And the last group stages game is also important for a lot of people. So maybe these are those the UNI type who just went on their own resources to see the game. If that is the case, I think the headline would be misleading. I mean, this headline suggests a critical core of the support base of the Black Stars, attempting to abandon the team. I mean, we'll classify them as deserters. I mean, you can't take the boys out and leave them on the streets
why
and come back.
Said Ghanaian supporters want to return.
If this were the World Cup, USA, Canada, Mexico,
that's right. That's where they'll be playing.
They want to come back.
Even the AFCON, if it was some other country.
They'll say they won't come.
What are you insinuating, gentlemen? What are you saying? Ivory Coast is a lovely place to be.
No, it is.
Lovely place. The food is out of this world.
A lot of comparisons when we talk about our economy.
Right.
A lot of the times we want to compare ourselves to the Ivory Coast. If we talk about cocoa production, sale, profits, everything, a lot of the times we want to compare ourselves
That's right.
Ivory Coast. That is the standard. So it's not as if Ivory Coast is a bad country.
At all.
But I mean, why would you leave Ghana and run away to Ivory Coast?
And they ran away and come back.
Well, Chris Hughton has come under some fire. Quick look at the last 10 AFCON games that the Black Star has participated in. We've had, out of those 10 games, 2 wins, 5 losses, and we have drawn 3 times. I look at Chris Hughton's watch. That's under Chris Hughton's watch. So Chris Hughton has had, this is AFCON games included. So so Ghana's 10 AFCON games, not all under Chris Hughton's watch, but let's look at Chris Hughton's record. Last 11 games. So of the last 11 games under Chris Hughton's watch, we have 4 wins, 3 losses, and 3 draws. What do we make of that stats? Not too impressive. Many are saying that when his contract is up in February towards the end, they don't think a renewal is on the horizon. Not very promising coming from Coach Hughton.
A lot of football supporters, they would agree with this that the coach needed time. They gave him time, but it appears the coach is not maybe up to the task or is not delivering as expected. I'm sure when he was contracted, he had some KPIs to meet to win the AFCON. I'm sure would be one of the main markers of his performances. So if he does not win it, then I'm sure, looking at what was expected of him, it would be fair to say that let's not renew it. But, he's taking the team there, let him finish, and then...
Going there has never been our problem. Guys. As for going, attending AFCON, that's never our issue. So taking us there, I don't know that's something. It's normal.
Are Ghanaians not needlessly harsh on our coaches?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think
name one single coach who hasn't come under fire for losing.
No, but if you
because the Black Stars of old were doing mighty work. At one point, don't forget, and I'm a super mega fan of the Black Stars. In 2010, the Black Stars FIFA World Ranking, we sat at number 16 because of that stellar performance. Even at ranking 16, coaches were catching heats. The year is 2024. We've switched numbers. Now we are 61st from 16 to 61. Who else are we going to blame? Yes, there's a lot going on.
You see, it's in some of the circumstances too, I think that we don't allow our coaches enough room to express themselves.
Okay.
If you listen to all these analysts and sports journalists, they'll tell you the kind of politics there is in...
That is true.
At the GFA level.
That is true.
Is the coach really fully in charge of team selection?
That is true.
Do we allow the coaches the free room and hand to operate and play?
A fair point.
Do we allow them? If you have set KPIs for somebody, is it right for you to go ahead to micromanage the person, and when things go bad, you hang the person out?
I think
we see a lot of these things, and I don't think that the same Chris Newton, Helen, got a lot of praise under the former coach.
Otuado. I believe he was technical
who
advisor.
Who resigned
yes.
At the tournament.
That's right.
He didn't have to wait to come back home to resign. He resigned abroad.
Yes.
He said, take your team.
Enough is enough.
I'm going my somewhere. I mean, I don't think that it is right. This same man received so much praise. In fact, a lot of the successes under Otuado was attributed to Chris Hutton.
He was technical advisor at that point. Well, the thing is, for me, and Sixers, I agree with you to a degree, definitely, the interferences. So as a coach, you might have the team of your dreams, the team that you know can take or win a cup or whatever the case may be, and then you have interferences allegedly or forces behind that will interfere with your lineup. But again, given the lineup that the coaches are given, are they tactical enough? Are they tactful with who they have? Because really, can we blame our players? We have some strong players that are performing well internationally. I think that
we need a national conversation on this whole Black Stars team, whether it is tactical enough, whether that's the best we have out there and in here, whether if we were to allow some sort of a free justify yourself. Just
justify your
inclusion. Open up. Let players from all walks of life come and try out. We'll build the team from scratch. It's a campaign. It's a discussion that some of us have always associated ourselves with.
Definitely.
But this thing that we do is it a 2-year experiment that we do all the time? We bring coaches in. We pay them a lot of money, only to turn around and manipulate a player selection. I mean, I have asked, the other day I was asking Kelvin, do we still need the what's his name? Are you the captain? Do we still need him in the team?
In fact, when he came
it was so obvious that he was tired. He was not fit enough. And again, Crosby will say, I'm still playing by the old rules. I mean, really, the time, if you recall the Asamoah Gyan incident, you know, Ghanaians almost forced Asamoah Gyan out of the Black Stars
because of the
and they had to create something captain,
general captain.
I mean, just to try to find a place for him in the team. I think along the line he himself saw that, no, Charlie, this thing, I'm too big for this. Let me just retire and go and, because he had reached that level in his career that he had earned not just national respect, international respect. He had broken a record at the tournament.
That's right.
And so whatever was happening was not good for his image, for his brand. And so he himself just had to take a bow. But we got to that stage that we said that, Asamoah Gyan had paid his dues. He was no longer fit enough. He was too old. He was too heavy. He wasn't running fast enough. I mean, compared that Asamoah Gyan to the Dede Ayew we saw on the pitch. I mean, the guy has a certain charisma. You can't take it away from him.
Who are you referring to?
Dede Ayew.
That's right.
He has a certain charisma that you often would see brought to bear on the field of play.
And the passion as well. And when Ghana loses, sometimes they have to even carry him from the pitch.
Yeah, I saw him on the touchline. Even whilst he was on the bench, he was, moving up and down. At the point, I was like, is he second coach? But you see, that's the kind of energy you need. But if that's the use he has for the team,
he should be captain of morale.
Thank you.
Small digression here. Of course, the sports team will be coming up after Community Voices, and we can have this conversation at length. This is what the Black Star does to us. We get so passionate.
I've often spoken against his brother, but on that occasion,
he plays for my team, Crystal Palace, and what a player. Anyway, small digression. That's on the front page of the Daybreak newspaper. Moving on to some more unpleasant news on the front page. 14,135 road crashes. 2,276 deaths recorded in 2023. Gentlemen, what do you have for us?
On the Daily Statesman newspaper, you have economic integration key to Africa's prosperity. That's captured on the front page. GJA taxed journalist over 2024 elections. Akosua Menu, NPP cares about child education. Akosua Menu is going for the Adentan constituency, the Adentan seat.
They call it Cozy.
Short for Akosua. He's coming up against another young blood, Ramadan. We'll see This time is the time of the youth.
That's
we'll
right.
See how young they will play it. Say, that's on the back page. What issues need addressing at Man United? I mean, we need to look at the issues affecting the Black Stars before we cross over to then AFCON. Disappointed Black Stars fans react to Ghana's 2-1 defeat to Cape Verde, and I think this more like a vox pop. Radio TV will call it a vox pop. There's an opinion sampling that has been done across to see what people, supporters of the team, think.
The front page of the Business Analyst newspaper: ADB prioritizes customer convenience, introduces instant Visa debit card service. Also, external debt restructuring. Ofuriatta travels to China next week. Government to meet bondholders. There's also a story on 4 new vehicle assembling plants to start operations in 2024 and fuel prices to go down at the pumps. The story is on page 5 of the paper. Will come as some good news to road users. The last story on the front page of the Business Analyst newspaper: nearly 40% of global employment could be disrupted by artificial intelligence. This is coming from the IMF boss. Imagine a computer taking over your job.
Imagine a computer reading the news at 6 because you'll be out of job.
At least, and he'll have good sleep so he can focus on vice presidential ambitions. Because as for vice,
do you know that his candidate lost out in the primary? So who is he going to be vicing?
I didn't think he
incubate the dream.
Sure, let's incubate the dream. Okay.
So you mean a great minister is coming back?
Oh, I agree with the
or you ditched him.
We ditched ourselves.
Let's get into the details. Are you asking why Ghanaian supporters want to return? It's a bit of a sportsy one this morning. Indulge us. Now, over 300 Ghanaian football supporters who were transported to Abidjan, Ivory Coast. You like that, Abidjan? That's
Abidjan.
how the French say it. Tu parles français?
Oui.
Je parle français, mais c'est très mauvais. Anyway, we move on. I bet you didn't know that.
Did you say merci très moving or?
No. Please relax. Over 300 Ghanaian football supporters who were transported to Abidjan, Ivory Coast by the government to cheer on the Black Stars at the Africa Cup of Nations AFCON are facing a desperate situation. Stranded and allegedly abandoned. The fans are now pleading with the Ghanaian government for immediate assistance. These fans housed at, they mentioned a certain hotel in Abidjan, claim they have been deprived of food, water, and proper communication with Ghanaian authorities. They claim that the high cost of living in Ivory Coast has further drained their resources, leaving them in a precarious situation. These supporters were part of a group sent by the Ghanaian government to support the Black Stars. However, their experience has been far from the promised one. They have been unable to contact officials for assistance, heightening their sense of despair and abandonment. In an interview with City News, the supporters called on the government to intervene and provide them with the necessary support to return home safely. One of the supporters said, "When we started the journey from the Accra Sports Stadium, it had been hell till today. We were even begging for water. We got to Elubu, but the borders were shut because we got there late. We had to sleep on the floor, all in the name of our dear country Ghana, just to come and support the Black Stars." So and some update there. Only to be defeated at the first hurdle as they faced off against Cape Verde. Not great there. The powers that be, I'm sure, have heard these cries, and on Thursday they'll be well fed and well watered.
But they can't wait till Thursday.
No, but I'm saying that by Thursday, everything will be in order. Of course, we keep an eye out on this one. Maybe the sports team will have more on what's going on with the Ghanaian supporters.
No, but we need to call on the sports ministry, the National Sports Authority, the GFA, all the stakeholders. I mean, these are precious Ghanaian lives, and these are people who have devoted their time to go out there and support the team. imagine the team playing in an empty stadium, a stadium that is only crowded by the support base or fans of the opposing team. It will further dampen the spirits of the team. And so, as much as we need the players on the pitch to be upbeat, we also equally need the supporters who have traveled along with them to also be excited about it, give all the support that they can give. And some of these things will simply just dampen their spirit. So all the relevant authorities would have to, quickly iron out what the challenges are, so that, where to sleep, where to eat, water to drink, those shouldn't be issues. They should be immediately dealt with.
Absolutely. Let's move on now. This one still in the Daybreak newspaper. Some 14,135 road crashes, 2,276 deaths recorded in 2023. Now, a total of 14,135 road crashes were recorded last year. Out of this number, 2,276 people were killed and 15,409 sustained injuries of varying degrees. This information was contained in a statement issued by the Motor Traffic and Transport Department, MTTD, of the Ghana Police Service. These figures contrast with a total of 14,960 road crashes recorded in 2022, with some 2,373 people killed. And there's a breakdown with the Greater Accra region recording quite a number of these road crashes. And we know that motorcycles still contribute about 40% or more of said road crashes, a reduction in the number from the year before, but still not great at all. Still really, really, really high numbers of road crashes. If you're listening to us this morning as you're on your way to work or on your way out of the house, do be careful. I always say this, there's a lot of ego in our driving, a lot of ego in our driving. A lot of issues can be solved with a little patience, and that's also a word of caution to myself this morning. You can get so irritated on the roads. You get to work and you are flustered, you are annoyed. A little patience this morning could go a long way. Somebody's trying to...
cases, you simply cannot be patient.
You must, because a moment of irritation...
Imagine
a lifetime of pain.
Imagine somebody snail pacing on a speed lane.
That happens.
And you are in a hurry. You are late. You are... Then you honk the person. Or those who brake as if like they just brake suddenly.
Yes.
You are behind
that
the person.
That also happens.
And all of a sudden the person has slammed on the brakes and you're like, Jeez.
That's why you have to allow for a little bit of space. In a high speed, yes. But we also have, in other jurisdictions, it's unheard of to be as close to another car as we do it here. Now, I also have that very bad habit of getting as close as possible. A little bumper to bumper. A little bit of space, I would say, can help this morning. Listen, it's very irritating when you're on the road and other road users are behaving as if the road belongs to them. But I say this all the time. A little bit of patience to save you a lifetime of sorrow. Again, last week, Dr. Adepa was here. He says the trauma cases that they see in the hospitals is no joke. A healthy young man, healthy young woman going to work, in the blink of an eye, an arm is gone, a leg is gone. And for our motorcyclists also sometimes appear out of nowhere. That's another big one. So let's be careful on the road this morning. Gentlemen, what do we have in the Business Analyst and also in the Daily Statesman?
There's a good story on page 5. Fuel prices to go down, talking about road users, vehicles. So starting January 16, 2023, today, consumers can expect a reduction in the prices of diesel and liquefied petroleum gases announced by the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers. However, the cost will remain unchanged. Well, that's the irony, if you like. This adjustment.
I heard you say the price is going down. You said the cost will remain.
Pumps. So it will go down at the pumps, but the cost of petrol will remain unchanged. We're talking about diesel and LPG.
Okay.
So this adjustment is attributed to the decrease in the prices of finished products on the global market, despite a slight depreciation of the cedi over the last 2 weeks. So COPEC is saying that it's anticipating an average price of 11.71 per litre for petrol, while diesel is expected to be sold at 12.13 per litre. LPG prices are projected to be 12.30 per kilogram. At the beginning of 2024, there was a general reduction in the prices of petroleum products in the domestic market. The average price for petrol was 11.80 and diesel was priced at 12.25. LPG, on the other hand, was available at 13 cedis per kilogram. So notably, fuel prices were lowered by certain oil marketing companies, including Star Oil and Zen, amongst others. So diesel and then LPG are going down, but for petrol, super.
We're on our own.
All right. Well, at least some good news for diesel users in the coming days and week 6. Is anything interesting in the Daily Statesman this morning?
3 quick headlines I want to touch.
Sure.
Daily Statesman. The first one, Ministry denies alleged sale of late Justice Mafusau's residence. This is from a tape that is making the rounds. Another of the showdowns given by Kennedy Agyapong.
That's right.
He went to support his brother in the Bantama constituency fight. And the brother is coming up against the sector minister,
Honorable Asenso
Boachi. That's Works and Housing Minister. So the ministry had to quickly, in that tape, the Honorable Kennedy Agyapong had said that they must immediately he said, come and remove your mouth on what you did with the residents of the late Justice Mafusau.
Let's take a quick listen, actually, to that soundbite from Kennedy Agyapong. Let's take a quick listen to that.
Chinese, if one or demanded 20,000, and I stopped it. Some Kaya, Niki MP before Kokose. Move group na kufu aburu ma say move a Jubilee House I was referring to Asenso today. I'm telling you, I was referring to Asenso. You should be ashamed of yourself to go and vote for a corrupt MP like Asenso again. I'm telling you, I don't miss words. I don't care how you feel. That is the gospel truth, because Ghana first. Now we get to me. Former Chief Justice, Oni Judicial Service, any Asenso, Omu Meyano, Eye Justice Mafusau, Oyano, Ifia Otimono, Etienne Essi, Abadia, any baby Omu Fasa, Dan Granny and Womo, and net positions in tea, Ombeso Modifa, Omu Ba, Oma Bedu Omanum. I have a tax for the Vice President of Mahama. So Vice President Winio, Mahama ne Winio. Me say, Sadano de Media Chili, I'm the kisses of my investigation. Because one person Fatano, Sadano, and woman. The Bagias also, Omopa, Omunian Yombeka, Ghana first, Mekano Procusissimo.
Well, you heard Kennedy Agyapong there. That first clip that we played was an earlier accusation of the housing minister, swiftly followed by an update that involves this judicial residence.
So the response we have from the ministry is directly to the issue of the residents of the late Justice Mafusau. It says that the Ministry of Works and Housing has refuted claims made by Mr. Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, a Central Member of Parliament, regarding the supposed sale of the late Justice Samuel Mafusau's residence. A statement released by the Public Relations Unit of the Ministry said the allegations were baseless and false, emphasizing that there had been no sale of the property in question. According to the Ministry, the ongoing developments at the late Justice Mafusau's official residence are part of the Government Redevelopment Program. This program, initiated in 1992, aims to find residential accommodation in Accra for the growing number of public and civil servants. The press statement outlines the history of GRP, detailing its implementation in various neighborhoods within the Greater Accra region. Cabinet approval on May 14, 2018 extended the scheme to include additional areas such as Osu Ringway, Airport Residential Area, and Labone. And sorry, there's a lot more on this. So this is just to a direct response to the Asin Central Member of Parliament, failed NPP flag bearer. Now the second. Helen, it seems I need coffee.
Yes, I was going to say we need to get some H2O for Sixtus.
The man says coffee. I say water.
H2O.
Oh no, H2. I mean water first, Anna.
He knows what he wants.
I know what my problem is.
Sembini.
Because this morning I don't have Hajia Coco, so I need something that can.
Somebody
have to
collapsed
organize
and then
it.
they were going to bring water. He said, no. Move ice kinky.
So these are the comments that have been made by Kennedy Agyapong. We have a rebuttal, if you will, or a response by the Ministry of Works and Housing, and also
and you see how exciting it, how curiously, so it's so fast, the speed with which the ministry responded. If the minister was not involved in this contest, would the ministry had given heed to these allegations?
Do you think that's what accounting for the speed in that response?
But there are a lot of other allegations that
allegation is also a major factor. Kennedy Agyapong.
No, but there are a lot of allegations that Kennedy Agyapong has raised, and we don't usually get this quick response from the offices responsible. So what's different in this case? What's different?
So a few things. Kennedy Agyapong making the allegation, the person is making the allegation about, and then a lot of it too is at stake here. We're talking about the NPP primaries in one of the biggest constituencies of the NPP in the Ashanti region, the Bantama constituency. So it is
exactly my point.
Yeah.
So it's for the politics of it, not simply because the citizens must know. No, and you see, that's the spirit. We spoke about this days ago on this same platform, that information must be released to satisfy the knowledge of the people, to not to, don't hoard it, don't be pushed, don't wait until it is critical, then you adopt a firefighting approach and you are pushed to the wall, so you want to respond. That's just the point I'm making.
I think Kennedy, Mr. Agyapong too is using information as his wild card or his core card. I don't know how to
and it seems to be working for him.
And it works for him almost all the time.
Yeah.
For nation building, I think it is something that should be relooked at. So, did he have this information before this whole brother wanting the Bantama seat and all of that? If he did, why did he not bring it out?
Now, interestingly, yesterday, if you caught Ghana Tonight, and Ghana Tonight airs on TV3, Alfred Okanse is the host of that show. It's on from 10 p.m. up until 11 p.m. Now, yesterday, off the back of this discussion, Alfred engaged Abdul Rashid Hassan, Honorable. He's a ranking member on the Lands and Forestry Committee of Parliament. Now, this is where it gets even more juicy. Take a quick listen to this question and answer that Alfred posed.
When it comes to lands and its allocation and sale. And you're saying that this redevelopment program by government, which has been revised by cabinet a few years ago, which has led to this allocation of lands and the demolition of some of these government buildings, you are not aware or you don't have information on this?
I had the opportunity to ask the minister a question on the floor of Parliament. Why the new interest in sale of lands, government lands, and especially in lands that are in prime areas, and those that already contain buildings. He made reference to the fact that it's been a policy of old, and that he was just implementing a policy which had been carried to them. But that was not sufficient enough for him to explain why these kinds of places they are talking about are demolished, structures demolished, sold to individuals, as if government is very much impatient to have its own land, or government is willing to discharge its own lands with the speed of light, as we are seeing. And it's not happening only in Accra, it's happening all over. You know, if you go to Ashanti, we have been told about it. If you go to Upper West region, my region, it's happening in Wa, it's happening in Greater Accra, it's happening in Volta region, everywhere. I mean, there is an decent sale of lands, government lands, to private individuals who are not necessarily in bad need of land to the extent that those lands should be sold to them. And my worry is not the fact that plain lands lying somewhere are sold to individuals. My worry and our worry is that specific areas of lands in very prime areas in Accra and other places, are being sold out.
Well, again, that was Honorable Abdul Rashid Hassan. He's a ranking member on the Lands and Forestry Committee of Parliament.
MP was Central.
That's right. Also weighing in on this discussion. So this one started off with Kennedy Ejapong. He planted the seed, and now we're seeing that this tree is beginning to grow and the branches are sprouting as we get different personalities getting involved in the discussion. This conversation is not over anytime soon, because government's redevelopment program objectives are as follows. They say achieve higher and optimum densities in prime areas and ensure efficient utilization of existing infrastructure. What will we bring? Contribute to the positive impact of the growth of our major cities by mitigating the rapid horizontal sprawl. What will we bring? Achieve a significant increase in the total stock of both. It's very enticing. Stock of both government and private residential properties countrywide, and improve the urban context and neighborhood characteristics of the old residential properties in our major cities. A lot of grammatical wooing. That's what I call it. Grammatical wooing. Nikrakran is saying the long and short, gentlemen.
Let me add you some.
Please add more.
The long and short.
The long and short.
The ministry reiterated its commitment to. Okay, so this the specific redevelopment project in Roman Ridge, the ministry revealed its plans to redevelop 4 structures on approximately 3 acres of land. These structures, once official residences for a late Supreme Court Justice, an appeals court judge, a minister of state, and a retired chief director, will be transformed into about 20 housing units for ministers and other senior government officials, along with 4 units for the Superior Court justices. The ministry emphasized that the land in question has not been sold and remains the property of the state. 20 housing units. Congratulations to UCC. They have appointed the first visually impaired lecturer at its law faculty. These are the kind of developments we want. The inclusion we are talking about, it means that there must be the infrastructure available for him to be able to do his job.
That's right.
And that also means that enrollment of persons with disability will go up. That by the mere institution of the infrastructure that would aid the teaching and learning of people in the study of law. So I think that all other faculties and schools of law would also have to emulate this. It's a good thing.
And expanding that further, issues of accessibility. In fact, that's something that even affects tourism. One of our womanpreneur segments, one of our womanpreneurs brings visitors to Ghana each year. And for those who are living with disabilities who would love to travel, sadly they can't add Ghana to the list because of ease of access, wheelchair access, and so on and so forth. So a great story there, and hopefully that expands.
But they call on the Daily Statesman that its opening paragraph, it's not. We have stopped calling them now. The most courteous way to refer to them would be visually impaired, hearing impaired, which other impairment. But to go straight like that, and the union has also changed its name. It's not you cannot insist that we should be calling you visually impaired or addressing you as visually impaired or hearing impaired when your union says Ghana Blind Union. I think that name should change. And what is important to Crosby and I and Johnny, William, Abiam, Solution, Kikimi, campaign on early detection of prostate cancer launched. The same way that you have united against breast cancer. I think that it's about time men got together. We should begin to form a united front against prostate cancer.
Yes.
I understand it's a silent killer. I understand it's one of those developments that we take for granted. You can be living with it without realizing it.
I see.
But with this program, the GIZ and Zebaya AG, they've commenced a campaign to create awareness on early detection. And so they are asking all men to act. Real men act.
Definitely. And for our part of the world, black men are 1.7 times more likely to be diagnosed with and 2.1 times more likely to die from prostate cancer than white men. Black men are also slightly more likely than white men to be diagnosed with advanced disease. So even more important for men in this part of the world to take it very seriously. Again, 1.7 times more likely to be diagnosed, 2.1 times more likely to die.
In October, when you are talking about breast cancer, we'll also be talking about
there's a month for prostate cancer, and if men were minded, they would know what month that is.
Ouch.
In any case, we'll break now for a little bit of music. We'll make way for some calls before the sports team get here. We call it Community Voices. What is going on in your community? Let's hear from you. But time check, it is some 20 minutes past 07. This is still 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. 6 is Atacho Kakra. Akiko Kakra. In any case, we'll talk about prostate cancer as and when. Stay tuned. There's more coming up.
Keep it from Italy, yeah.
3FM Sunrise.
Nobody can show me how I live.